One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about Starcraft 2 and the esports scene.
Hello and welcome everyone to the podcast. This week
Oh my
featuring
goodness.
Duddles.
Yes, a three-man pod.
Yeah. You better be careful, Falcon. One of these days I'm going to permanently replace you with Duddles. It's going to happen.
I mean, I wouldn't blame you. Duddles is an incredibly handsome, thoughtful, intelligent man, so...
It's true. All those things
The
are
only-
true.
The only question is, does he like anime as much as we do?
Probably not.
Yeah, it's kind of a fatal flaw in that plan.
It's true.
Yeah, sorry guys. I think that I think Cowboy Bebop's kind of cool.
It is
That's
cool.
good. Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop is great. All right, well, at least you got that
Attack on
going for you.
Titan. Attack on
Yeah,
Titan.
yeah, yeah.
I've almost finished a season of it, and it was pretty good.
A season.
Yeah.
I do plan on actually watching that because that one's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, it's alright.
But that's like Ninja Scroll,
Ninja Scrolls,
absolute.
yeah.
Samurai X, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Anything
Ranma
from
half is
anything else
Ranma
from
half
this
is super
century?
weird. This century is that
Yeah.
what you said?
Yeah.
No. I went to Acon twice, man. It's an anime convention in Dallas, Texas. And
dang.
both times I didn't know anything about anime. I just went because there was like video game I played in a Warcraft 3 tournament that was hosted there. That was pretty cool. I got like 12th place out of like 40 people. And that was because I think I won one game. That's all it took. Like everybody
So it
else
was
dropped
like
out.
1v1 PvP?
Yeah, but there was a time limit, so the games were all capped on time, and so whenever I lost the game, I was in the guy's base. He had no more workers, he had no more army, and I was killing all of his buildings. I had clearly won the game, but he didn't GG out. But then he had gathered more resources than I did in the game, and so whenever the timer hit, he had a higher score.
Yeah.
So because they based it off of resources gathered. It was even the guy who I beat we were both infuriated that I got knocked out of the tournament. I was so mad.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It was like literally afterward I was like, you guys don't know what you're doing. And this is way before I knew how to play RTS games. So it was like my first PC tournament experience, and I was like, get knocked out second round because some kid just only expanded the entire time and didn't build an army.
They're playing the meta. Is there a foot behind you, Samacron?
A foot?
Yeah.
Well, no, there's that is all my recycling that I need to take out, but that's like bottles and cans and stuff.
Oh, it's your chair.
Oh, my pink hot pink diva chair, yeah.
It's kind of flesh colored if you're covering the pink part.
Right, yeah.
And it kind of looked like it was a foot wearing a sock or something, and I was like, what's going on behind you?
Yeah,
Got it. Okay, it's your awesome Diva Super Gaming chair. Got it.
Oh yeah,
all right.
yeah, for sure. That's exactly what it is.
Fantastic. Anyway, so StarCraft has been happening.
Has it though? Like Protoss
little
won
bit.
things. Like that doesn't count as a real tournament.
I mean, look, super tournaments are always Protoss. I don't know why. I'm not sure if there's an answer for this. Anybody's come up with a logical explanation as to why every super tournament is won by and dominated by Protoss when regular GSLs are not. But this was no different. So GSL Super Tournament number 2 for 2021. 3 of the 4 semifinalists were Protoss. It was a Protoss versus Protoss final. Maru got 3-2'd by Trap, and then Trap won the whole thing by 4-2ing Jean. Which, by the way, Jean making it to the final. Way to go, man. But again, it's a GSL Super Tournament, so what does it mean? I don't know. Probably nothing.
I mean, so that means Rogue practiced last season, right, in GSL. Like, because when Rogue practices, he wins. It's like period.
Right.
And so he practiced for about 4 months for last GSL season, and so then for Super Tournament, he probably is playing like League of Legends or something, or just like
Right.
no video games at all. So he probably didn't even qualify or something because that's how Rogue works.
Rogue got beaten by Zhao.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not fair. Well, good for him, man. That's awesome.
Considering Jean made it to the final, there's not a lot of shame in that, except for the fact that Jean doesn't exactly have the biggest resume.
I mean,
Well, he does now.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's
got
not
top-
the biggest, but he's got a better resume.
He's got a point on the resume. Yeah.
And all of his premier tournament finishes that Wikipedia considers important at all come from the super tournament that just wrapped up, and super tournament number 1 from 2021, where he also finished second to Trap, losing 4-2. So that's really weird. Trap versus Zone, the finals of both super tournament number 1 and number 2 were 2021, and Trap won 4-2 both times. Is this Groundhog Day?
Something seems suspicious with those results.
Maybe. But yeah, that's it. Like, he hasn't done anything in GSLs. He's qualified for GSLs, hasn't done anything in them. ESLs, he hasn't done really much of anything in them. It's just super tournaments. Again, Protoss favored. That's when Zone shows up and does amazing things and beats world champions and somehow, because Protoss dark magic.
It's true.
I think it's called Sky Toss.
Sky Toss.
I didn't watch any of the games.
No,
so I
it
can't
was
say he used Sky Toss,
Disruptors.
but-
Neither have I.
Disruptors.
It was Disruptors. I watched it. I watched the Rogue versus Zone series, and it was like massive Disruptor hit after massive Disruptor hit, and Rogue was just like, I don't have enough. He made Disruptors look amazing against Zerg. It was crazy.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So now you know.
It's like Korean mechanic.
Yeah. M. Canning inspired
I
him.
think that's
Canning,
called
I'm sorry.
potting. That's potting.
Right, Parting.
That's
Aw.
potting. Come on.
Well, Parting loves to just like stay on stalkers for 45 minutes into the game.
That's true, but I feel like he likes his disruptors. Is that right?
Yeah.
He's pretty okay with his
That's right.
Disruptors, yeah. Not as much against Zerg, though, really. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I mean, potting wasn't in this tournament, so
Right.
can't.
Right.
Why not? That's weird. Did he not qualify? Was he not interested? Was he
That is an
doing
excellent question.
Dreamhack stuff instead? What was he doing?
I think he was.
As the viewer who
hungover,
doesn't know.
You know? Who knows? Let's have a look at the qualifier and see if he just like got beaten by someone.
Yeah. I hope all three of us aren't also all of us looking this up at the same time.
Oh, I think we are.
Parting
I'm
did-
not.
He made the notable participants.
He did.
The qualifier.
Who
Which
beat
one
him?
was he? We're all slowly looking this up.
Yeah,
Not me.
He's not in the round of 16, that's for sure.
Come on, guys. You're better at internet than this. Or not.
Well,
Not better.
I don't know.
I don't see what group he's in. Oh no, there we
He was
are. He got beaten by Bunny and then Special. So
Oh.
his
Wow.
PBT is.
You know what? I remember
PB.
that. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
hearing
yeah.
about the special victory. Okay. I use Twitter. I've heard of this application. That was a thing people talked about.
Briefly.
Anytime special wins in any of the GSL stuff, people were like, yeah,
Foreigners.
this is the
North
year.
America. Yeah,
They're
totally.
finally doing it. Special looks great, by the way. I know this is like really outdated news, but dude, he looks amazing.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it on the pod, but yeah, he's dropped a ton of weight. He looks great.
God,
Yeah.
like wow. What was it? Keto? What did he do?
I don't know, but I would like to know if Special is listening. Please tell us your secrets. For what
Yeah,
it
like
was.
I mean, did he pick up a cocaine habit? Like, what's going on?
No,
I had a cool.
He hasn't won enough video games to afford a cocaine habit. Okay.
It's
You
true.
You never know.
I had a coworker who I hadn't seen since March when the pandemic started. We actually had our first team meeting in like over a year last month, and he showed up, and I was like, "Who's that?" Because he dropped like 40 pounds, and he was wearing a mask. So I was like, "Who's this person?
Oh, in person.
Yeah, in person, right? Sorry." And then it was him, and I was like, "Dang!" So yeah, maybe.
Did you introduce yourself to him or anything? Like super embarrassing.
No. I let somebody else be the one to be like, "Who's that?" I don't want to put myself out there. But yeah, and he just, I don't know. He just said he just worked on that during quarantine and stuff. That was what his focus was. So maybe Special did the same thing.
Maybe.
Yeah,
He's not going
I
out to
lost-
clubs and parties anymore, so he just exercises and stuff.
I lost 40 pounds during this quarantine.
See? It's a thing.
You can't see it right now because I gained 5 of them back, but whatever. Carbs are good. That's all I know. So is beer. Hard to stay away from that stuff for too long, but
Beer is nice.
I did not lose any weight during the quarantine, so I don't know how any of this works, but I'm glad to hear for some people it totally works out.
I never had a quarantine, so
Right, fair.
wait, you didn't have a quarantine?
we did sort of. It was all like non-essential people should stay home, but I work in a supermarket, so I'm considered an essential worker. So for me, it was get up and go to work every day,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
I work in a bakery, which is literally all carbs. There's no avoiding carbs. I'm pretty sure I breathe in carbohydrates. Like as a function of-
Inhale carbs. Can you? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, you're literally like getting high on carbohydrates at work.
Yeah.
We need to do some science on that. Like if you're starving to death, but
standing in a
you
bakery.
stand in a bakery for a couple days, do you not die?
So I worked at a Mexican restaurant for 4 years, and you know the fajitas. You have that like hot sizzling pan, then you pour butter on it, and the butter just erupts and steams. Everybody's all like, "Wow, this is so fresh." Those fajitas sitting on that plate, by the way, could be like 20 minutes old. You'd never know.
Well, but they're on fire, so it's okay. Yeah.
Right, well, like the next closest thing, but really they're just on butter that's just like exploding because of how hot that plate they're sitting on is. And so like I'm literally like I'm getting like butter intoxicated every day, just carrying those plates around and those trays. Just God, like literally for 18 hours a day, just butter in my face. And I think that I have I think that I'm gonna die. You know, like when I'm maybe 52.
It gave you type 2
Massive.
diabetes just by standing
Oh,
up.
for sure. Maybe even type 1. Like it even skips over the type 2. They're just like, no, juvenile. You get juvenile diabetes from this. Like it became genetic out of nowhere.
Oh, I believe it.
Science, food science, interesting stuff.
But anyway, Starcraft is still a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of Dreamhack going on. There's a billion games, but like we're not to the like group stages yet, so I don't know.
Yeah.
They're doing that thing where it's like every region matters, and it's like, does it? Does it really all
Does it
matter?
though?
Everybody?
Well, NA doesn't. We all know that.
I mean, even EU, there's like 10 good players, and the rest of it's like, this person has no chance of doing anything. I don't know. But, I mean, it's good. It gives people a chance to compete against the best, and sometimes they win. Sometimes they take maps off of people and get confidence, and then it's the next trainer. So, it's cool, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything notable from Dreamhack that you saw on the Twitter, Duddles? Anything you want to talk about? Because I don't
Well,
know.
Gung
that
Fu
there's
Panda, man, like he had a hard group, if I remember correctly, and he
Gung Fu
made it out
Panda.
like second place, right?
Let's take a look. The Dreamhack. Ongoing.
Yeah,
Master
like
Summer.
third place out of his group. But I mean, like, look, I mean, he beat like Vanya, Bly, Shadown, or whatever. Like these people are good. He had, and I don't know, Christianer. I don't know that. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, see, this is
So
this is the
player.
problem. If you can't
But I
pronounce
mean,
the player's
Bly-
name, beating them
Bly-
isn't that impressive.
Bly
Bly's
had a terrible run.
Bly
But
hasn't
he-
done any.
he's
Bly
not
hasn't
a
done
last
anything in like
place
2
this
years.
group. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, since the Nidus nerf, he's been struggling, but
He hasn't finished in anything Premier since 2016. He hasn't got a major tournament high finish since 2018. So Bly is not Bly anymore. Beating Bly is okay.
Bly is like a month younger than I am. Like that's
Yeah.
still impressive that he's doing it because my wrists explode when I play StarCraft. I have to like I'm pulling a Beyond with half the APM every time I even touch the game. Like I have to take like 30-minute breaks after every 2 games at this point. You know, like so the fact that he's still doing it, I mean, he's good for him.
I've seen your games. They never go past the 6-minute mark. So that's really impressive that you got to take a 30-minute break every 2 games.
Right. I mean, like I have
Well,
to drink at least 2 beers afterward too. 'Cause,
impressive.
I mean, I'm depressed.
Impressive is maybe not the right word. Concerning, maybe.
No, for sure. It's not good.
I don't know. I'm actually not shocked that Gung Fu Banda took top 4 in that group. Like, I think he's better than Vanya, Christianier, Shadown, and Bly at this point. But
Yeah, I mean,
good job by
I
him.
just think
I'll
that.
take it.
But he beat Clem in this group. He's
He
Clem's
took a
only
map off of
loss.
Clem?
No, he took a series off of Clem.
What? Okay, that's pretty good.
It's true.
All
So
right.
that's why I'm just that alone is like good for you, man. Like that's awesome.
Let's see. Are the other groups confusing at all? Hero Marine, Max Pack, Showtime, and Skillless. I mean, that 4th spot in Group B is like whatever.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Group
but I mean,
C,
I would have put it to Skillless or Gerald. Is it Gerald? I don't know.
Gerald. I
I'm
don't
a
even
little
know.
sad Stefano didn't get out, but
I don't
but-
expect anything from Stefano. If he does great, it's great, and if he doesn't do anything, it's fine.
yeah.
Yeah. How hard is he practicing?
Oh, probably like once every other 3 weeks, like you.
That dude's got it. I feel like that guy's just partying every weekend, like, and just hanging out and enjoying his life. And he's like, yeah, look, I'll play some StarCraft. You know, like,
Well, wasn't he was getting a medical degree, wasn't he?
something like, dude, he's just one of those, he's a savant and he just doesn't try and doesn't need to. And he still plays at this level because it's like, to him, this is laddering, you know?
Right.
All right, so Group C, I'm a little surprised that Goblin got in over Marine Lord. So it's Rainer, DNS, Goblin, and Euthermal.
And
DNS too, bit of a surprise.
Denver is you know, I know that he's really streaky, but also kind of, and Kaz is not bad. I mean, he went 0-7. That's actually very surprising. But I mean, that's a tough group. Goblin, you know, getting a better map score than Euthermal is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's actually amazing. He 2-0'd Marine Lord when they first played, which is like, okay.
I mean, I know that his Twitter was blown up with nothing but just like, "Hey, what's up, dude? Carrier's pretty good, huh?"
Well, yeah, that's all I know Goblin for, is he has these really solid, tight carrier builds that are hard to deal with.
But
Like, I
he's
can't
been
imagine
doing
he
that.
went carriers against Marine Lord. Is that what he
Yeah,
did?
no, well, I know that Goblin, he was the one thing that made him so popular is that when carriers were garbage, like you just don't go carriers, especially against Terran. That was his build. He would do a like in PvT, he would go carriers every time and like Tempests. What are you, like, this guy's going bio. Like, why do you have Tempests? But hey.
Absolutely insane.
All right, so Group D. Man, who's this? Saral?
He's an up and comer. It's really amazing. Saral got out of his group at all.
What is that flag? Oh, Finland? What?
No, I think
There are
that's
no good
Norway.
players
I think
in
that's Norway.
Finland? Well, if you hovered over it, it says Finland, so maybe
I mean,
Wikipedia's wrong?
It might
I don't
be.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. 7-0.
Poor art.
I think we need to check this
What?
player for, like,
Match fixing.
Adderall, right? Like, performance-enhancing drugs.
I think it's blood sausage at this point.
MMR boosting enhanced.
That's the secret. Just eating a crap ton of blood sausage all the time. That's how Finland is so dominant in esports. Besides, like, they're like number 2 outside of Korea, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah. They're really good.
Yes, blood sausage and that's it.
Terrible.
Blood sausage and golf. The 2 keys to esports.
They're all tiny, man. They're all super skinny. They're like ketoing it up on blood sausage and like then the blood of their victims afterward. God, it's so gross. But man,
Anyway,
Mana not
no
making
real
it out, that hurts.
No real surprises in Group D, I don't think.
Like, I think
Soul.
Hearthstone. Soul's really good.
He is good. He's an up-and-comer. I like him a lot.
Between, you know, I think honestly, everywhere between Soul and Sort of, any of them could have taken 3 and 4. And Sort of obviously had a bad week, you know.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I don't think that's a testament to Sort of, because I think that he could have gotten better numbers. He probably just had some rough games. Also, there's a crap ton of Protoss in this. That sucks.
Totally.
But yeah, like it could have been Hearthstone, it could have been Mana, it could have been Hellraiser. And I wouldn't have been surprised out of any of those if they were 3 and 4.
Yeah, I'm fairly impressed with Hearthstone considering he's been doing so much YouTube content recently.
Yeah.
I figured he'd be putting more time into that than practicing, but no, still grinding, looking good. Very nice. All right, so then we had first round of the playoffs, at least for the winners bracket. Rainer beat Laser, Cyril 3-0'd Max Packs, 1-day Max Packs, but not today. Hero Marine 3-0'd Lambo, and then Clem 3-0'd DNS. So no real surprises there as far as that first round is concerned.
A lot of 3-0s.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
just
well, look at these
shellacking.
matchups, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I think out of all these, the only surprising 3-0 is Hero Marine versus Lambo. I feel like Lambo should be able to take a map off Hero Marine. You know?
don't think a laser should be able to take more than one map off Reno? It was a 3-1, not a 3-0. So,
But he
did
took a
take
map, man.
He took a map. I think he should be able to drive that to game 5.
Rainer, so a laser's really good, but a laser's like exclusively good at what is the event? I just had a brain fart, but like it's the Korean event, but it's in Europe.
Korean
but
event
like
in Europe.
but Korea just still dominates it because it's like Korea's allowed to go to it.
Nation
Oh
Wars.
my god, no, that's not in Europe. That's all online.
Well, it is now, but it's like the finals are held in Paris.
Remove my Starcraft card because y'all are gonna laugh at me. Katowice.
Katowice. Okay, so you mean the World Championship. Okay, he's exclusively good at the World Championship.
Well, now that became the World Championship this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was.
Yeah.
I will die on this hill. World champion. Good job, him.
And good for him, yeah. But but like Rainer's, you know, like he's beating everybody, but maybe Dark, you know, pretty much every time he plays anybody. Like he's what top. See, I'm gonna open up a website I haven't in a while. Let's go to
Ligulac.
Ligulac.com.
You know who's number one? You'll be surprised, Nuddles.
Wow, Saral.
Sar-
Saral.
Saral.
He must be from a South American country. Saral.
Roll those R's.
Yeah, but look, Rainer top. You know, look, I can't believe what day and age do we have number one Finland, number two we have where's Clem from?
France. No,
France,
right?
He's
Yeah,
Italian.
he's- No, he's
French.
No.
He's French.
I get him and Rainer confused what countries they're from every time.
Number three, Italy. And
Wherever
then
that
number
is.
4, I mean, there's some guy named Maru. I don't know, it's a weird name. It's like I guess it's like Blue from Jungle Book, but just like
Maru.
he just
Sounds-
Maru.
African, maybe? That's interesting.
Like, look, I mean, the fact that then in the top 10, then you keep on going down. Number 8 is Hero Marine from Germany. Yeah, like, look at these guys. This is crazy. In the top 10, almost half of them are European right now. That is nuts. Does this mean StarCraft is dead? I don't think it does. I think point the country it isn't. But, like...
It means the region lock worked. This was the whole plan. The whole reason that they said Koreans can't compete in these tournaments is so that foreigners could get more success and feel more motivated to compete and win cash prizes and get better. And guess what?
Right.
They did. So that's all this is. That was the entire reason that they set up the region lock in the first place, was there to be more elite foreigner play, and it worked. That's
So
it.
the real question is, did the region lock work, or did the collapse of the Korean pro gaming team house disrupt the Koreans so much that they can't get as good as they once were?
How
are the
dare
Koreans
you.
just worse?
How dare you muddy the waters of my simple explanation for what's going on?
But why? I mean, seriously.
Fine.
There's
other
so
stuff
many things that
happening.
go into it. Now, out of curiosity, have any of these 4 players? I think maybe Rainer. I don't know, but I know that like a lot of people, you know, Neeb, Scarlet, Special, they'll move to Korea. And they practice. They're in Korea. That's where they practice. Or at least last I checked up on it. Like, I know Cyril never moved to Korea. And he's been in Korea and he's practiced. Rainer, did he move there? I guess
No.
Did
he
he?
competed in one GSL like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He beat Classic and took a map off Maru, but didn't make it to the playoff. He was
Okay.
young. He was really young, but that's the only one. Then he hasn't competed since.
Yeah, and Clem, I don't think has.
No.
And Hero Marine, I don't think has. So it's weird that like out of all the foreigners who go and practiced in Korea, like you would expect like Neeb, Scarlet, Special, and I think Lambo did, maybe. Maybe.
That sounds right.
Like at least for as much time as Raynor did, you know. I'm
Yeah,
sure
just
most
like
of these people have probably spent a little bit of time in Korea, but
Right.
like it's wild that they're the ones who have not just done it, but then have like consistently been at least on this top 10 list at some point in time in their careers. And they're not the ones who are who think the secret sauce is going to Korea. Their secret sauce is playing their own game, and I really respect that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think what made Cyril as good as he is that he's like the first Zerg player to play Zerg the way Blizzard designed it for Starcraft 2, right?
Right?
Zerg is very defensive. Queens are fast on creep, but not off creep. And I don't know. I just feel like Cyril's the first one who said, okay, I'm going to defend for 10 to 15 minutes perfectly, and then I'll have a huge army, and then I'll crush you.
You also keep going. I'm so sorry.
That's it. I just think that was it. I think every other Zerg player was kind of trying to play it more aggressively. It's hard. It's super hard to play Cyril style. When I try it on ladder, I feel really good about things, and then one drop gets into my mineral line at the main, and everything dies, and I lose, and I'm like,
But I think that what also really stands out about with Cyril whenever he came out is it was like right after they patched. They've been patching away the death ball as much as they could. That's because that was the biggest complaint from the community is like, how come F2E move, like I can just get my entire army in death ball and Protoss just wins every time because Colossus are good. You know, like that was a huge complaint. I remember like all of Wings of Liberty, all of Heart of the Swarm. That was like
Stalker
the death
Colossus
ball.
death ball. Yeah, it was just
Yeah,
like this is so hard to deal with, and all they have to do is a move, right?
And then well, it's gotten late game enough to now I have a carrier death ball. You know, like it's just like with that. Then you have a corruptor death ball against it. Like it was both armies were just have your entire army in one place, and you're just picking away at each other playing League of Legends, but with like 50 units each.
Right. They definitely tried to move away from mass sky toss by giving Void Rays a movement buff.
Right.
Yeah, they definitely made sky toss much harder to do now. Yeah. Whew.
Well, yeah, Void Rays are disgusting, but
Still good, but that's the thing. Like this Skytoss unbeatable army isn't just carriers or just Void Rays. It's carriers, Void Rays, High Templar, maybe some Tempest, a couple Archons down there, maybe some Immortals. Like it's this really complex setup. It's not just one or two units that you can just mass and be really hard to beat. It has to be a complex group, and then to deal with it requires an equally complex group of units to go against it, especially if you're Zerg. So yeah,
Right.
I think it's a great place to be in.
well, right. And so the reason I bring that up is because whenever they finally did patch it out, which is kind of early Legacy of the Void, a little bit mid-level, I think it was the death ball was gone. Cyril was a common best, top round of 8 guy. He's been around for like everybody knew who Cyril was. He was pretty much like you looked at a laser, Lambo, Cyril. They were
Sort
your
of.
European Zergs.
I think back when I started casting in 2015, I really considered Sort of and Cyril to be effectively the same people. I did.
Yes,
They were both
exactly.
Zergs that were good but not great.
Right, but they were good. They were gonna make the playoffs pretty much every time around, but they weren't they weren't championship players yet. So then, but whenever that style hit, I remember like in Lambo's been interviewed about it. It was like, and he feels really bad because he got and a laser too. They were like both really upset because these guys were all practice partners. They were. I mean, then you have Snoot, and other people. This community of European Zergs. They were all friends. They all learned from each other. Their entire purpose was to like get one of them to beat the Koreans. That was like their goal. And whenever when the death ball went away and the multi-pronged attack was just like the way to go with Zerg. I mean, Scarlet stood out. She did it so well. But man, Cyril like just immediately became unstoppable. That's what 2017. 2017 2016
It was.
2016 I think it's 2016 or 2017 that this happened, and it was just like he didn't lose a series for over a year when that happened, because like it was it was like the perfect patch because it was actually, in my opinion, that was one of the best states of the game. And yes, Zerg was broken because they finally got rid of the Protoss Death Ball and the Marine Death Ball and the you know, like the Death Balls were gone. So now all of a sudden Zerg was like, well shit, this is how we've been playing the whole time, you know? And it just dominates. And he just stood out head and shoulders above everybody else. And people have caught up. Raynor, an obvious example, he is a similar style to Cyril, but obviously in a different mechanic. They're better at different stages of the game. He's a much better lurker player. Like he's just, even I think he said recently, like he's never going to play lurkers again. I'm sure he played lurkers a million times in this past Dreamhack. But you know, like that was a beautiful thing to watch, and to see a foreigner. It always gives me chills watching that, like his run into GSL versus the world. He beat Stats, then he beat Stats again, and in the global finals that year. It was just, oh my god, like this kid is just so good. Yeah, his older brother was a professional Brood War player. Whatever, like nobody remembers that as much, but like, God, what a moment! I love this game so much. It's romantic.
Yeah, it really was. And it's kind of sad for Raynor because, like, his accomplishment is incredible, what he did, but it's just, he's not the first. So there's just not the level of, like, holy crap, someone did it that there was with Cyril, right? It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. But Raynor was the first person to, like, beat Cyril, like, in a finals. You know?
Yeah.
Like it
No,
was,
that's true.
Like the first time Cyril reached a finals, he didn't lose a finals again until Raynor beat him.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure somebody could.
It is something like that because he did have like an almost an entire year or over a year without losing a
series.
competitive series. Yeah,
He went over a year without dropping a single series.
right. But didn't he do that really weird thing in that game where he was like, "I'm gonna play ZVZ with Ultralisks"?
Yep, he did that at least once against Raynor.
Yeah,
And, like,
So,
there's a certain level of, like, oh crap, my opponent teched up. Or go ahead, innovation?
So in like 2018 IEM Catalyst, Innovation is the one who took a series off of them. And it was like a 45-50 minute game per series. Super late game, just ghost nukes, just obliterated Cyril. Brood Lords had just gotten nerfed. He didn't really
King's
have an answer for it.
Cove. Yeah, one of those nuke matches.
Yeah, it was just like nuke. One of those things where it's like every single map just had like this static defense line across the entire map. They're both on like half a base. And there's like 2 full mineral patches that they're just like constantly expanding to, and it's getting the like nobody's actually mining from it. They expand and they know it's gonna die in 2 seconds. They're like, I can throw 3 drones at it, whatever. God, that series was hard to watch because it was like Innovation felt like he was like on his way out a little bit because he hadn't had that innovation splash anymore. He wasn't that big innovation, like, you know, what we think of Maru now. That's how we thought of Innovation, you know, a year before that. So it was like, but it was crazy. He just took it, and everybody's like, I remember the casters were just like, well, there goes the legacy, because it was like these group stages with, you know, he went like 6-1 in his group. You know, so it was like he had already won his group, but it was like, you know, that he, in the back of his mind, he was like, I'm undefeated for a year.
right.
Like I think Innovation might have been eliminated too. It was like one of those. It was one of those matches that didn't matter for either player, but Innovation just like gave him the freaking business, you know. Like, and Cyril's like, "Come on, let me have it.
Just let me be undefeated, please."
Right. I'll see you in the playoffs, man. Like, save these builds for later.
Good times.
Anyway, so if you guys want to talk about something more recent than you know, Cowboy Bebop or 2017, I'm probably got to get out of here. And
That's the weird thing. We always come into these shows not knowing exactly what we're going to talk about because we don't have anything planned. Falcon might have a list of things in his mind, but I don't know.
Well, it's more a pattern, right?
Right.
Usually we'll open up with StarCraft 2 tournament talk, I guess we should mention that you beat me in our super tournament bet, wherein
I didn't beat you.
What?
No, I bet on Maru, not Maru, Beyond.
Oh, I thought you took Maru again.
No, because I was
It's
like,
one of those two.
I was on the stream. I was like, oh man, thank God I took Maru, right? Not Beyond.
Oh, you're so dry with your sarcasm. Sometimes I miss that. All right. Okay, so we tied. Thank goodness. I was like,
Did we?
feeling so bad about my rogue pick.
Rogue went further than Beyond, didn't he?
Did he? Hold up.
Yeah, because crikey.
I want in on these bets next time. What are these bets?
Okay, so during the playoffs of every tournament, we each pick a player from the bracket, and whichever one goes further wins.
Okay.
I picked Beyond, who lost 3-2 to Bunny in the round of 16. Rogue, who went to the quarterfinals, lost to Xiao.
Right. So, amazingly, impressively, one round further.
Yeah, a whole one round
Then
further.
Beyond.
And so
So
that's,
how does is this seeded? Like, do you guys draw straws to see who picks first? Like, so you don't pick the same person, or you just happen to not pick the same person every time?
well, picking the okay. So the way it usually works is whoever won last time gets to pick first.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the last time I think I also picked Beyond or Maru. I don't know. It was the last GSL. I had to play Protoss for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do I have to do this time, Falcon? I don't remember what we agreed. If we agreed on anything.
We certainly did not agree on anything. I think we forgot that part of the whole process.
Yeah.
Have we picked for Dreamhack yet?
Dreamhack is not at its playoffs yet. Like, it's in its group stage playoffs, but that doesn't count.
No, we don't care about the regional anythings. Once it's to the final bracket of everybody, then we'll pick someone.
Then we'll pick someone, yeah.
All right. So anyway, I'm gonna pick Clem.
Ooh, spicy pick. I like it.
But for the regionals, and you guys don't have to pick anybody. We can just see how far I go. But unless you guys just want to be a bunch of chickens and not
You're picking
participate in the
Clem
regionals.
over Cyril and Raynor.
I'll take Cyril.
I'm picking Clem.
Because
Bad
they're in his okay.
I mean, okay, hold on, Falcon. You can have Cyril since you won this time. So,
No, it's fine.
no? Okay. So, Duddles, you are aware that you will be, like, responsible and liable for if you lose, right? Like,
Well, what happens if I lose?
well, that's what we agree upon, right, at this moment. So, last time I had to play Protoss for, like, 3 weeks. But
I'm not drinking pig's shower water. Like, I'm not gonna do that.
Right. Well, you might have to sing a song on the podcast, like a
That's okay.
Disney
Dude, I'll
princess
sing a
song.
song.
A Disney princess.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, no, and I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna do it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I have an
okay.
Australian flag in the front window of my home because I lost a bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I lost a bet and I had to sing. What is the UK song?
God
The,
save the queen.
It wasn't. I don't think it was God Save the Queen. It might have been God Save the Queen.
No?
Maybe, I don't know. It's probably got a clip somewhere on Twitch. I did a terrible job because I didn't know the words and I was like trying to follow along and just doing it, butchered it up. I had to take like 2 takes because the guy who I lost the bet to was like that wasn't even close to good enough.
That doesn't count.
But I'll do it, man. Freaking, you want me to go sing like you know?
I mean, I'm just saying
Like-
that's an option. Like it's.
I will show you the world. Like, I'm not afraid of that. You can do it.
Beautiful. I like it a lot.
Are you sure we can't get you to drink the shower water? What about,
There's perfume in it. No,
it's not perfume in it.
it's a fragrance. It's fragrance. That's what he said. Don't drink it. It's actually a fragrance. Like, don't.
No, he's saying don't drink it because it's had a piece of bacon fermenting in it for 2 weeks while it ships to you.
No, it doesn't actually have bacon in it.
It
That was
does.
It's a piece of he literally glued a piece of paper to the outside of the bottle. Like,
No.
that's
Your
the
one,
bacon.
the one that you have has a big chunk of bacon sitting in it.
No, because that's he actually printed out his bacon like emoji thing, you know, like from Twitch, like.
Does it?
Yeah, it was pasting that he was presenting it like it was an actual piece of bacon fermenting in it, but like this
Okay.
is straight up.
I must have
perfume
missed
and
that bit.
water.
I must have missed that bit. Wow.
That is like dripped off of his junk or something in the shower. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a weird.
Wow.
By the way, do you know about this, Falcon? That Somicron purchased me a vial of pig's shower water.
Yeah.
I thought
he's
Somicron was gonna buy some. I thought you were gonna buy some for yourself. What happened to that?
I did.
He
Oh,
won.
okay.
He won it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he bought
okay.
some, and I was trying to
Okay.
buy some for Somicron because it was Australia only, except the grand prize. The grand prize was an auction. Somicron comes out here and purchases me. The one, like, this is the first like Starcraft stream I've been on in 2 months, pretty much. That, like, where I'm actually like signed into Twitch and chatting. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna watch Pig stream. Like, I love Pig streams, and he's like not playing StarCraft. He has pink hair and is selling shower water. What an experience! What a time to hop
Welcome
back
to
on.
day. What day are we on with that? 30 something.
22.
Jesus.
It's the 22nd.
22?
Yeah, so-
Live.
Yeah.
So I saw that, but I was like, okay, so he's doing this. He must be playing a lot of StarCraft. He's not playing any StarCraft. He's
He's playing
just.
some.
I'm sure he's logged into the game, but from what I can tell, he's making more money just by being a freaking personality. This guy's hilarious. Like,
I think technically he's made the most money while sleeping because people when the time will get down to like half an hour and then people will just sit there throwing like a sub at it, gift a sub just
Right.
to keep it going till morning.
which is it was a good idea, but I'm sure he's exhausted. But this is what he does for a living, and the fact that he's got his girlfriend involved, where she's suddenly become a much larger part of the stream, because she'll sit in and just be like, I'm just gonna answer questions. You guys just go nuts. You know, it's hilarious. I think what Pig is doing is great.
Well,
Good
yeah,
for
it
him,
is
man.
great. And apparently people get a big kick out of the fact that when Pig goes to sleep, there's like 12 hours left. And they're like, tee hee hee. When he wakes up, there will be 1,000 hours left. Ha ha ha.
Right.
Which I can appreciate.
I mean, this is not going to end for probably a year. Sorry,
Right.
Pig, but
Yeah.
you're stuck.
not looking
Sorry
good
for
for
all
him.
the money.
Yeah.
Sorry for all the money. Yeah.
What an idiot.
So 50% of that goes to Twitch, right?
Right, but he's still
Pretty
like
much, yeah.
walking around with like I think so far 50,000 just on subs, but the timer also gets extended by donations, which he doesn't have to split with Twitch. So
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
I've made
doing
sure
all
to
right.
not. I've stopped giving bits. I've stopped doing that. I make sure to if I want to give somebody money, I sub just because that's a recognition thing that helps their stature with the platform. So that's good. But also, I mean, I will send a straight donation. Like, just give them the tip. Like, give
Just the
them the
tip.
money. Yeah, just little. All I got anyway, guys. But just give that. Give them all you got. All half an inch of that tip. You're welcome, ladies.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Anyway, let's see. What else is going on in the world? My report on Bad Batch, which is the latest Disney Plus offering in the Star Wars universe.
Okay. Is it still
Yeah, it's still basically a continuation of Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Clone Wars. It's a little bit better than Clone Wars, but less major characters in it.
Well, just this last week's episode where they're like, we need information. What's that? We're getting sent on a fetch quest? I was like, are we doing this again? Is this really all we can do in the Star Wars universe? The Mandalorian is nothing but fetch quest after fetch quest. And then for them to be like, the Bad Batch is the same thing. It's like, but come on.
But at least they're introducing Mandalorian characters into it.
Who?
Wow.
The bounty hunter. What's her name? She was in like Agents of Shield. She was in
Oh, that's who she is?
Mandalorian. Yeah.
They're like, you're expected to know who this person is. Basically, they inferred that, and I'm like, oh, this is a female bounty hunter. I don't got anything.
Yeah. She's a chick from
That's
Agents of
her.
Shield. She's like not that good, but she's not bad. Like
She's like Boba Fett's friend.
yeah. She
Yeah.
comes back with Boba Fett.
Yeah. Okay, so that's who she's supposed to be. So she's all animated here. So like, it's not exactly.
I just know the voice. Her voice is really distinctive to me. But,
Okay.
and then the character, like the helmet, it's like she's like the best sniper ever, even though the best sniper ever was that like Bad Batch clone.
Yep.
Yeah, Crosshair.
Yeah. What a
Yeah,
what a unique nickname, guys. Way to
They
go.
have
Crosshair.
all the most unique nicknames, all of them. Well, and then also we have like this,
Right up
kind of
there with
annoying
Deadshot.
kid character
Annoying
who's
kid.
like Omega, and I think she's a New Zealand voice actress because she speaks like Taika Waititi.
Okay.
Everything's a question.
Yeah,
Everything's a
right?
question.
Is it?
She's like, yeah,
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, she's like, we're going over there.
The inflection is very.
Yeah.
It's
It
yeah,
always
it's-
ends up
Kiwi.
with like a question. Very
Yeah,
Kiwi.
and just her vowels are very Kiwi. Anyway, she's kind of annoying. Kind of makes me miss Baby Yoda because Baby Yoda was the like cute young interest that didn't ever say anything, and I think that was kind of good.
Yeah, just
Anyway.
unintentionally performing potential genocide. Like by eating those eggs.
That was
Adorably.
That was murder. I don't think it was genocide.
No, genocide because it was just like the last of the species.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't the last of the species. It was just her family. Like she was like, my husband
No,
got
I
a
was-
job off world.
I was correct me if I'm wrong. I thought
You're
that
wrong.
was
I'm
like
correcting you.
that
Like,
they
it's not
were
genocide.
this thing was going. I thought the species was like going extinct.
No.
And they were trying to get the eggs off.
I don't
Nope.
think so.
It was just
No.
regular old children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just regular old child murder. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Exactly, actually. Anyway,
No, but yeah, dude, I like the first episode that she was introduced. She was like, "Oh, this kid's badass, natural talent. So, like, look at how brave she is." Then, like, immediately afterwards, she was just useless and a problem. So, like, oh my god, what a cute puppy! I'm gonna chase it and get caught by a bounty hunter because I can't follow directions.
yeah. It's not great.
The show's all right. I mean, I'm watching it. It's not the best, but there's better. There's worse shows.
Sure.
Low bar.
Not the worst show ever. Bar is a little bit low there, but yeah.
Faint praise.
It's worth watching.
Is it though?
Yeah.
I mean, I never finished Clone Wars, so like I'm giving it a shot.
It's not a good sign.
I didn't finish Clone Wars either, or Rebels, so
Or Rebels, yeah. And everybody said Rebels is better, and I was like, it's the same show.
Rebels is whatever, but the Ashoka versus Darth Vader confrontation is like one of the best things Star Wars has done in the last 5 years.
I
It's
haven't seen
so
that.
good. Just YouTube that. Just YouTube Ashoka versus Vader. It's like a 6-minute thing, and it is honestly better. It's amazing, but like not good enough for me to watch the rest of the Clone Wars.
faint praise again.
Yeah, the faintest of praise.
Because like the Darth Vader scene in Rogue One is enough to make me watch Rogue One again.
Yeah. What we're saying is we need a Vader show, okay? Can we just have a like Vader between the, when he's actually running around doing stuff, hunting down the remaining
Yeah.
Jedi? Can we just get a TV show that's that for 12 episodes?
With a secret apprentice, you can have the teenager heartthrob thrown in there of some
Yeah,
sort,
yeah.
right?
But it's just him just like getting tips about where Jedi are and just mercilessly hunting them down and killing them. Just give us that. I think people would be down.
I'd watch
watch
that
that.
probably.
And, like some of them are better fighters than others, so like they actually give him a challenge, but like he always wins because he always does. We know that.
Yeah,
So like
see,
not a lot of
he-
suspense necessarily, but he
'cause
could
he'd be
lose a
Mace
fight.
Windu.
Yeah, like he could lose a fight, right? And like then come back later and win. I mean, I think it'd be fantastic. It'd be better than the Bad Batch. That's all I'm saying.
But I mean, at least we have a distinctive character in the Bad Batch. I mean, like it's not like we just have the same guy recast over and over again.
It is. I was so impressed.
get
I
it?
thought
'Cause
they had
they're all
different voice
clones.
actors. It's the same voice actor for every clone.
Is it really?
It is.
I was
the same
kidding, but like that's
dude.
hilarious. Talk
I
about a
know.
budget cut. I mean, they all look so wildly different. One of them's half droid, like.
Yeah. Nope. Same guy, every character. He's doing slightly different takes on it every time. Amazing, I thought.
So it's the future
Actually-
of Star Wars,
Yeah.
where it's just Billy
Yeah.
West with 9 characters.
But
Yes.
really, that's kind of impressive, right?
No,
Kind-
for sure.
Kind of, yeah.
He does a good job.
Not easy.
I'm
'Cause
impressed.
I'm not sure
I feel
he's
like there's
getting-
chemistry.
Yeah.
He has chemistry
Yeah,
with
yeah.
himself.
It
That guy's gotta
honestly.
be a
It
guy's got to be
feels
dynamite
like
in the
different
bedroom by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets home and he is just all over himself. Like
You know
whoa.
what? You know what, Duddles? He has a good time, right?
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So much chemistry. Guys, I'm sorry that I brought a masturbation joke into the Falcon Paladin hour. I hope that was the first, and hopefully it's the last. Sorry.
Could be the last.
My nieces and nephews watch this show, Duddles.
I don't think they do.
No, they do.
Do they
They're like,
really?
They're like 7.
This is a face of somebody who does. We're gonna have to talk.
I don't care.
My bad.
It's all right, Duddles. We forgive you. Go to the
Thank you.
corner and think about what you've done.
I will. I have like 8 jokes that I'm not gonna say. Moving on.
No, go on.
All right.
So Sons of Sam. Have you guys seen that?
I've literally never heard of that.
What is it?
It's Sons of Sam. Do you know who the Son of Sam is? Like that serial killer from the late 70s, early 80s?
New York.
Yeah, so like there's a documentary on Netflix about it right now. It's kind of like about a journalist who the entire time, so like every single at every single murder where there's an eyewitness, the picture was like completely different. They're like, there's similarities, but there's also obvious like blatant differences between like the sketch artist's rendition of who this was. So they're actually able to tie this all together. And like they're tying this, so it was like this guy just took the fall for all the murders, but it was like a very Charles Manson family kind of scenario. And they actually had tie this guy like specifically to Charles, like they can like put him in the same room as Charles Manson at one point, to where like both Charles Manson's cult and this other cult that are the Sons of Sam, but like they called themselves the Children, and Charles Manson's was the family. They can actually put those together and find like a connecting piece, and like so it's a conspiracy, but like it has a lot of merit, because there's like documented evidence that puts them together. But the NYPD was like, no, we're not investigating this because we already caught the guy, and the shooting stopped after he was captured. So like, why would we keep on investigating it? So it's a docu-series on that, and guys, it's good. It's very good.
Where is it?
Netflix.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That is interesting. Because wasn't that whole summer of Sam, like in New York City, where there was like a garbage strike and a serial killer in the city, and
a police strike, and they also had a massive police layoffs. It was like,
oh my gosh,
like the late
what a
70s
summer.
in New York was the worst time to ever live in New York.
Yeah,
And then also,
really bad.
just going on a date would get you shot, apparently, because that's what he did. They just went and killed people on dates.
Couples, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Bad times in New York. It's a lot better now, turns out.
Dude, seeing videos from then, like the trash piles, like
Yeah.
I know I heard about it and I was like, okay, that sounds gross, but it's probably exaggerated. But like actually seeing footage of people walking down the street, and we're talking like 2 stories high trash piles.
Wow.
Like lining between the sidewalk, like so the side, because they're against the curb waiting for trash to get picked up, but there was nobody picking up trash, so you just get these piles of trash. So we have to get like literal heavy equipment to put trash up. Like it was just, I cannot imagine, like, why would you live there? Well, I mean, I live in Houston, Texas. We flood all the time, so I get it. But at least it's not a daily disgusting thing.
Well, just for that one summer where there was that strike happening, but yeah. Yeah. All right, well, quick anime rundown.
Okay. I haven't watched any anime in over a week.
Oh, well, darn. Okay.
So can't really do anything.
Fair enough. I'll
Yeah.
tell you something happened to Deku in My Hero Academia.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm not watching that. Go for it. Is this the thing?
Because you asked, remember? You were like, has something happened with Deku? And I was like, yes. And you're like, it's not that.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah. So, he just sprouts a new power out of Nowheresville.
Right.
And then he talks to a dead person
Uh-huh.
and learns about One for All. So
So he now
I'm
has
still not entirely
powers.
sure how it works.
Yeah. Whips. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like super powered whips is the thing.
Yeah.
He's like, it has, yeah, you have access to all of the quirks we had as previous holders of One for All, but they're enhanced greatly by One for All itself. So when he uses the bullwhip power on his, like, inadvertently, it's huge, like smashing buildings and knocking stuff all over the place and crazy out of control. So it's more interesting. Like, it's not just like he has access to random quirks that these previous holders of One for All had, but they're like crazy stronger, and he has to learn how to figure that out. So I don't know. I'm okay with it. It's an interesting. I'm just glad that we're done with the stupid intra class scrimmages that are so boring. But I think they're done now. So
Okay.
When you say whips, we're not talking like some young kid slang. We mean like
Whips. Yeah.
whips. Okay.
they're like energy tentacles, and
that's
they
Yeah.
the
It's
most
an
crowded
animated
thing I've
tentacles.
heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
Energy tentacles.
well, they like sprout out of his hand, and like they have destructive abilities. They're like blasting holes in concrete walls and like knocking pipes down and hurting people and stuff. So it's not so much just like a grab someone. It's not like a get over here from Mortal Kombat. It's just like you can really mess stuff up with these. Apparently, I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see. It's
Energy
interesting.
tentacles. Did you guys watch Invincible? Have I missed that podcast
Oh.
already? Where you guys talk about that?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. Then I
but
won't.
feel free to give us your thoughts.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
basically anime.
It's really good.
It's really good.
Like that and the Boys, or Amazon Prime is doing a better job with DC Comics than by doing DC comic ripoff comics and satire DC comics than DC Comics is doing with their movies.
100%.
Did you watch the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, the 4.5 hour long?
I haven't been able to set the time. I want to,
Okay.
because I mean, I understand it's better, but like, God, the original one was so bad.
Yeah.
I don't have I know it's supposed to be better, but I'm like, yeah, but like, I don't really care. Like, how much polishing can a piece of crap receive
Right.
to actually be like a gem? I don't know if the movie is that salvageable. Oh, I mean, I want to watch it. I want to see it. I haven't had 4.5 hours to watch
dedicate.
it.
Yeah.
It's a fair point.
I have not seen it either, and I want to. I am just very annoyed that it's in 4:3 aspect ratio instead of 16:9.
Yeah, that's a
Zack
big picture.
Snyder's vision, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I did watch Army of the Dead.
Oh yeah. Is that also?
Yeah, I
4:3?
got drunk the other. I have no idea, dude. Fuck. Did you guys watch that movie?
That's the Bruce Campbell? No.
No, that's Zack Snyder.
It's Zack Snyder's new movie, Army of the Dead, where there's like a zombie outbreak in Vegas or something.
But it's
Yeah.
Dave Bautista, right?
Yeah, he's in it. He's the main
Yeah,
character.
okay. Yeah. Which,
Like-
good for him. Like, his
Yeah,
career's
do you know,
doing
he was-
all right.
He was fantastic in it. Like, the acting
Good.
was actually surprisingly not as bad as
A lot of
That's
zombie
the
movies
thing.
are.
No, like, and that's the thing about Zack Snyder movies, man. It's not that the acting is bad. It's that the
Writing's
direction.
The
and
writing is bad.
Really bad.
Right, you can have the best actors with the best performances possible, and if the writing is dumb, the movie is dumb at the end.
Yeah.
It's true.
Dude, I mean, like, well, look at Batman vs Superman. I think the acting in the entire movie was fantastic. There was nothing wrong with the acting. It was clearly direction. Like, these guys were told to do characters that they A, were either miscast for, or B, like, they're probably the whole time they're like, what? You want me to? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bad. So bad.
So bad. Remember that part where Batman kills a bunch of people? So true to character.
So
Yeah,
many
like,
people.
like mowing people down with guns,
Yeah.
and then like running them over in his car. Like,
Yeah.
cool. Like, you just literally have never read a Batman comic. Way to go.
If I remember correctly, there's like a director's commentary for that movie, and during it, Zack Snyder clearly explains that the Batmobile fires rubber bullets, and so
yeah.
it's non-lethal. Like when they get shot, it's not lethal.
Yeah, getting shot
yes.
with at a, like with a minigun.
Yeah.
But the rubber bullets.
Yeah.
Every single one of those rubber bullets is going to be literally physically maiming. But
Okay,
you're,
okay.
you're fine.
I mean, the
But if
car
we're gonna-
explodes, but yes, it's fine, right? Like, it was a rubber explosion, too.
If we're going to play that game, Batman beating someone to within an inch of their life and giving them 3 broken bones and dumping them in the snow in the middle of the winter also kills them. Batman has a
Yeah.
history of killing henchmen, just not with guns. People freak out because it's guns. That's all I'm saying.
He never intentionally kills people.
He's not stupid, though. I'm leaving this
Yeah,
thug
but-
unconscious. It will get below freezing tonight. He's
But,
extremely injured.
Comic book Batman intentionally will disarm you. He's gonna break your arm and make it he's gonna cripple you, but he won't kill you. He's also extremely intelligent. That Batman versus Superman. Batman, he was murdering everybody. He fought, and the branding and stuff. That was just so obnoxious. It was cool. I liked giving him that kind of what's his name? Jesus, Frank, whatever. The guy
Frank
who did
Castle?
300.
Oh, no.
Punisher?
Yeah, that's what I was
No.
thinking when you said Frank. He goes a little bit anti-hero, but no. Who did 300? Did Zack
Snyder.
Snyder did 300?
Yeah.
No, but
Same thing.
the guy who wrote the comics,
Oh,
For 300?
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller.
Mela.
So Frank
Oh.
Miller. So he wrote the the old Batman series, and that was what they were kind of doing. Where it was way darker and way more where he fought Superman. Those that they made a cartoon out of it. So they were basing it off of kind of that Batman. The Frank Miller is the darkest DC guy. He's great. So he wrote the comic book 300 that based off of the original story that the movie was made off of. So it was Zack Snyder and Frank Miller. And so that's what I think why Batman vs Superman was supposed to be so good, is because it was 300 was pretty cool. Let's go ahead and do the same thing, but with the Batman story, where it's the Batman vs Superman, which is the ultimate showdown in Frank Miller's Batman series. And it was super awesome. And Batman kind of wins, but he kind of doesn't. It was good. But Batman's super old. He's in his 50s or late 50s, early 60s. He's years out of retirement, and he comes back, and God, it's so the story is so good, and I have never seen such a good story that's so easy to deliver to film, just butchered so much. And I actually kind of like Batman vs Superman. I'm not as much as a naysayer as other people, but that was kind of the beginning of the end for DC movies, because they had because Man of Steel was pretty good, and then they were like, dude, I think Man of Steel was pretty good.
Go back and rewatch that movie sober. It's not a good movie.
It's asking a lot. No, I've seen that movie 3 or 4 times. I like it. I'm not saying it's fantastic. There's a lot of plot holes, but it wasn't bad. Then Batman vs Superman had potential, but then the CGI was stupid. Lex Luthor casting was bad. And I like him in other things he does, but he's typecast. He can only play one role, and that role is not Lex Luthor. And Wonder Woman was cool. She was good. Then the first Wonder Woman movie was great, but 1984 was God.
They have a consistency problem, man.
It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I hear
I'm
it's
done
good.
with that tangent.
I've not seen it.
Well, isn't the problem that they don't have a Feige, right? Kevin Feige for the MCU is the guy who is in charge of making sure that the MCU movies are not bad, right? And they follow a certain theme, certain tone,
Sure.
and maybe they're not Oscar winning, but it's an enjoyable experience at the theater, right?
I mean, where was he for Thor 2? But okay.
He wasn't there yet. They didn't have him
Wasn't
yet.
he? Did they not? When did they have him?
He showed up
Post Avengers?
Yes,
'Cause
post the first Avengers, I
Thor
thought.
2 was after the first Avengers.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Okay.
He let's see, produced Black Panther. That doesn't help us very much. President of production for Marvel Studios in March 2007. But I don't know.
2007. Isn't that only like a couple years after the first Iron Man movie?
That's before the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah, it's the year before. So he's always been there, apparently.
Yeah, so Thor 2 is him. But, I mean...
To what degree?
Apparently, yeah. But, like, so is Captain America and Winter Soldier and Avengers and Guardian of the Galaxy. And I think there are more hits than is in the list.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, just the DCU needs somebody like that, is what I'm saying. It needs someone who understands the DCU. It's not Zack Snyder, because he doesn't like superheroes. He has said it more than once. He can't be the person to do this. I think I don't know, I think for a while there, they felt like he could be the guy. We're just going to do the DCU, the DCEU, or whatever they call it, through Zack Snyder's eyes, and he'd be the visionary for this. But no, I think they've changed their mind on this one, so I don't know. There's the new Batman movie coming out.
Oh, with Robert Pattinson, yeah.
Yeah, with Robert Pattinson. The writer for it is a comic writer, I thought. Hold on a second. Because I listened to a podcast about this where they were really excited that the writer and director for the new Batman movie
Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves.
Oh, yeah.
What
That's
did
a
he
name.
do? He did something with Batman. I don't know. There was something in his past he did with Batman that they were excited about him bringing that to the big screen, but I can't find any information about it right now. Anyway. But yeah, it's just you need people who understand the character of Superman and the character of Batman to make good Batman and Superman movies. It's kind of like, I don't know. I watched a YouTube video today about somebody who argued that Spider-Man Homecoming is a good movie and a really fun movie, but a bad Spider-Man movie. And what it kind of boiled down to was Spider-Man must suffer, right? Spider-Man does not enjoy success and happiness at all times, or even close to half the time, right? He's constantly struggling with something. It's hard for him. His job kind of sucks. His relationships don't work out all the time. And so for the Peter Parker in Homecoming, for everything to generally work out for the most part, he said didn't feel like a Spider-Man movie to him. It's kind of like how Superman's about hope, right? Superman's theme is hope and just hope for the future in general, right? And so if you have a cynical take on Batman or Superman, it just doesn't work. It's not who the character is.
Right.
And then, I don't know, Batman's about damage, right? It's
Well,
about,
Batman and Spider-Man are very similar in the fact they're always just dark and having a bad time.
and they
The
can't be
difference
happy.
is one's a teenager, you know.
Right. Bingo.
Like even so, by the time Iron Man actually became part of Spider-Man's like life, and Peter Parker's life was looking up because Tony Stark was basically like he wasn't poor anymore. He was taking care of him. But then like Spider-Man did something that he thought was right that, went against Tony Stark's ideology, and Tony Stark freaking released his identity. He said who Peter Parker was, or he forced. What happened was in the Civil War. I apologize, nerds. I said that wrong. He inspired and convinced Peter Parker to reveal his identity because of that whole Civil War thing of so he made Spider-Man be one of the first, supers to go and unveil themselves and register themselves, right? Yeah. And as a result, the Sinister Six beat him to a living pulp and almost killed him because they know everything. He was super easy to find. Captured, I'm sure Mary Jane may have died or something. I don't remember that much, but something catastrophic happened in his life. He was beat to a bloody pulp and he switched sides. He went straight to Captain America.
I will maintain the Sinister Six have been trying to kill Spider-Man for decades and they failed miserably every time. And I just refuse to believe they got it worked out because they knew he was Peter Parker. Come on.
But I think
for story purposes, I get why they did it, but it makes no sense based on the Spider-Man history. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, how many comics of the Sinister Six all six attack at once though?
At
I'm
least
sure there's plenty.
5 or 6. Yeah, and they
Yeah.
always suck at it. So I get what they're trying to do. They need to drive the plot of Civil War along, and they did that, and that's great. But like, come on, find a better way to do it. Like, I would have much rather they go after somebody that Peter loves, and that's why he switches sides, rather than they got him, because that doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, it was probably both. I don't remember. It's been a
Sure.
long time since I read the Cliff Notes to Civil War because there's like 40,000 comics in Civil War.
Yeah.
But see, God, when Civil War was happening, that was the most fun time to hop on YouTube and just listen to other people tell me what happened in the comics. It was so good.
It was an interesting time for Marvel, for sure.
Like Wolverine's like sidebar and that was so good. God, the storyline was so that was whenever Marvel came back and they were like, "Hey guys, I promise you, you can keep buying comics. They're not bad." Meanwhile, I still only exclusively buy Ghost Rider comics because I'm a stupid person.
Wow, of all the options, Ghost Rider.
I know it's weird.
Dang. Okay, but
I have
back
a
real
co-
quick.
No,
Is it good?
I didn't think it would be. I just needed to
I mean
know.
they are really good, but like it's the same story over and over again. It's not that once you kind of get the gist of it pretty quick, and you're like, oh, okay, so it's demons and stuff. Got it.
Right.
Yeah. Hell. Flaming skull.
Vengeance.
Nick Cage on a motorbike. Right.
No,
I'm still kind of bummed that the Civil War movie wasn't that great.
about the Civil War at all.
Yeah, well, they
It was
changed
like
it.
it was like two fist fights. That was the
Yeah.
Civil War. Like
Yeah.
the catastrophic moments. So in Shield, Agents of Shield, they did during that movie. They actually did like a lot of the Civil War timeline stuff. But like Agents of Shield is hot garbage.
Yes.
But they tried. Like they had the guy who could explode himself, and like that's what caused the Civil War was the mutant who just could. He was a nuclear bomb walking around, and they're like, "Hey, we need to fucking start registering these people because this guy just blew up half of New York or something. You know, like everybody's dead. And I forget what city it was, but like he just wiped out, you know, a couple million people in 2 seconds." So, but God, that plot line was so good, and it was so dark, and it was so like, I mean, the divisions were like, the people who were fighting each other was great. Captain America gets shot by Crossbones, or that's his name, right?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Crossbones. I think that's his name.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then he gets beaten
Yeah.
up eventually by Iron Man, and Iron Man takes the shield, and there's like this great comic book cover where Iron Man's standing there with like a bloody shield. Oh.
yeah. And then meanwhile, I don't know, you guys can't see this, but then this guy is who's cast. This, I mean, actually, the actor is fine. He was a great Crossbones, but like they did him so dirty in the movie. It was like, okay, you're gonna show up for 20 seconds. Good job, Crossbones. All right.
Oh, I forgot he was in there. Yeah.
Yeah, like the guy who kills Captain America is like a henchman for 20 seconds. I mean, he's in every Captain America movie pretty much, but like he's barely plays a role.
Forgettable.
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah,
Miller.
Civil War, the comic storyline for Civil War was so good, and it made sense. And then they do the movie, and they just change it enough to where you're kind of confused as to what's going on, and you don't quite understand the motivations for some of the characters. And then you have 12 characters instead of like the 100 and 200 that they had in the comics, right? So it's just a high bar to try to clear, and they didn't pull it off. The best part of Civil War is the introduction of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Honestly,
See, it was one of those things that, you know, so you have Marvel and they have like the what do they call them, like the sagas, but it's like Marvel,
The phases.
MCEU. Yeah, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Like why was phase 2 Ultron? I get why Ultron's a big baddie. But phase 2 should have been Civil War. They should have done a whole thing, but now that they have the rights to Fox, like now's the time to do Civil War. Like after you beat Thanos, like okay, now like we don't need to introduce a big universe-ending bad guy. Now would be the time to introduce the X-Men. Now would be the time to introduce Fantastic Four, and now would be the perfect time to have a Phase 4 like an actual civil war where you have that plot line, because you could make like 8 movies about it and people would go see every single one of them. It would be great.
Yep. I think they messed that up. I agree.
Yeah.
In their defense, they didn't own those rights yet, but
Yeah, it's true. Maybe they'll do that, and then they'll rename Captain America Civil War to Civil Disagreement.
but
That's basically what it was.
Yeah, but I mean, Iron Man's and Captain America are both dead. Well, Captain America's not necessarily dead, but
he's gone. He gone. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He gone.
Like, he's not dead. He's just old somewhere.
No, they would have gone to talk to him at some point in that show if he was alive. Come on.
No, he made it.
They're struggling.
Clear
They're struggling with all this concept of what it means to be Captain America, and I don't know if I should do this. And not one time do they go to Steve and see what's going on with him.
Here's the thing. Steve shows up at like the woods for Tony's funeral, gives Falcon his shield, and then is like, "I'm not telling you about my wife. I'm not telling you where I live," right? And then he goes away, right? Like he gets on the bus and heads back to the old folks' home. Like they don't know where he is. He's there somewhere, but
He's
just
really think
old.
so?
Yeah, he's old and
He's like, hey, everyone who's struggling with this mantle of Captain America, screw you, you're on your own. Bye. Like, what the crap? That's
figure it
again,
out.
it's the same Cap who was like, 9/11's happening. That's not my problem. The Hulk, Hydra's infiltrated Shield. Not my problem. Right? This is the Cap that had to be a non-interventionist for decades.
Yeah. Or at least, or maybe
enough.
he was doing something, and it's just not shown.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because there's no movies about Captain America pulling people out of 9/11.
I know who he was doing.
Puddles. Come on.
That's why all the bad stuff happened anyway, because he was just too busy getting busy with Peggy. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just every day, just woke up, they got busy, and ate some food, got busy again, went to sleep.
Hey, mute it for your nephew and niece, but you know why they call her Peggy, right?
Steve doesn't make that connection. He's too pure. Anyway.
Well, he was.
I don't know.
He was
I guess
60 years ago. Then 60 years later, who knows what he's into? You know, he could be into some Peggy stuff.
That's a good point. It's Steve that's been around.
He
By the way, the answer to that question, kids, is that she's really into Pegasus, the Greek mythology horse unicorn that flew.
Right.
Which is honestly pretty cool, so it's understandable.
Yeah. Yep.
He's into that kind of stuff.
That just made it sound worse.
What? Mythology? It's a pretty cool thing to be into.
You're telling him that he's into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's into Greek
He's like, I want you to put
mythology,
on wings and like a horse costume.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess. Right? I mean, I suppose Steve could have just been like, I'm going to be a dad here, and I'm going to make sure that my kids, Bucky and Falcon, can fly on their own. I'm going to make them figure this out by themselves, and then they'll be all the stronger for it, right?
Right. Because if they keep coming back to Old Man Cap, they'll have to always keep coming back to Old Man Cap. They gotta leave the nest.
Bucky does have that line about, no, Falcon has that line about, like, this, pardon my French, but who cares what Steve thinks? I was like, yeah. It was a good moment.
I liked that show.
It was good.
It was really good.
It wasn't the greatest thing. Apparently,
it was easy.
Well, we talked about this on a previous pod, but basically, it really seems like there was some crazy, like, virus bioweapon plotline that they totally just removed from the show because of current events.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to, like, scramble together and put something together that they just had to ship, right?
Yeah.
So that's why everything with the Flag Smashers feels incredibly vague or not quite sure what they're doing.
Yeah, like I remember I was like, what's their motive? Like, why are they so like, okay, they have super serum. That's cool.
And they're stealing vaccines for what? I don't know, something. Polio. Not a worldwide super virus that got released. Nope. So
they flu shots, man. Like,
yeah. So it's understandable.
CVS is going to have a shortage.
So I get why it feels kind of put together weird because it's not their fault. I think they could have done better except for current events. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how future things go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What's next? It's like the Loki TV show.
Yeah, Loki's next. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
No, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be Inception, but Marvel, just like Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Or what was that one movie that came out recently where it's all like
Tenet.
Tenet? Yeah, I never saw it, but I need to see it. But kind of like weird. I just want to see it just because
Like, I recommend you go in not expecting to understand what's happening and just hold on to that feeling.
right. But that's how all those movies are. Like Inception, that took 2 watches to really get.
Yes, it did because it actually makes sense. It's just hard to understand. Tenet doesn't make any sense no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I made this argument on Twitter a couple times, and someone's like, no, look at this flowchart that explains exactly what happened. And it's this, like, massive chart with 87 lines on it, going backwards and forwards and crossing. And I'm like, yeah, okay. If you need that kind of a chart to explain your movie, I don't know if it's explainable, man. Yeah. I really tried. I really tried staring at that chart and trying to understand what it's trying to say. Just like, nah. Nope. Never got there. Maybe I'm just dumb. It's very possible.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, and that's not exactly a great recommendation, so I'm not going to.
No.
Hey guys, I have to take a phone call. Please give me just 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh.
It's probably his wife. $20 says it's his wife. You know, I'm just gonna leave him on camera. Damn.
Yeah.
He walked out the door. Damn. I was hoping it was just him on the phone. That'd be great.
Be great. Vivi was good.
Yeah. God, I want to watch that.
I know. I like what Vivi's doing.
I have a problem where the first 5 episodes I was able to binge, and they flow together so well. Those first 5 episodes, where like I barely noticed that there was an outro credits going, and then I had to wait a week for the 6th episode, and I'm like, ugh.
Just ruined everything.
Yeah, because binging is
fair.
the better experience, and that's a well-known fact.
I suppose. I don't know. For some stuff. Anyway, it was good. 86 was good. 86 is just, man,
Yeah.
does not suck. Every episode is just good.
Okay.
Like, even that one episode of Vivi where it's like, this is somehow kind of a recap episode for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like that in 86, so.
It's coming. Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Get our clip show. And then there'll be 1 episode ending, and then we'll have to wait like 6 months, like Wonder Egg.
Which, boy, I hope we get that final episode. That'd be nice.
I mean, it's coming. It's on the books.
When, though? We have an estimate?
I was going to say May almost. I think it's August.
I mean, all right, I'll take August, I
I
guess.
think it's August. Yeah.
We're just talking about animes, current day animes that are newer than Cowboy Bebop, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, thank God I was gone. I'm just kidding. You guys,
Yeah.
I actually, one of my favorite things about this podcast is whenever you guys start talking about animes and me trying to figure out what the hell is going on in the conversation.
We try to explain them. We don't just leave you out in the cold.
No, that's what's great is you guys give me just enough information to where my imagination can do the work, but animes are like so fucking weird.
They're always pretty weird, yeah. I mean, not always. There are some very normal slice of life ones that are just like, these are 2 kids in high school and they like each other to the end, right?
Hard me.
Yeah, that sounds like it sucks.
I stopped watching it.
No, it's great. It's a great show.
Is it? Are you still watching Hori?
It finished. Yeah, like it finished. It's
Oh.
fine. Right? Like there's no conflict ever in the entire show.
Yeah, good times.
It's just
It's just straightforward, no magic, no robots.
They
no
have like
crazy
the
dream
food porn at
states.
least.
No
Like the
giants.
animation, like oh, look at us make these dumplings. God, that looks good.
Dude, anime food
porn is out of this
always
world.
amazing.
anime
Yeah.
food is the best food. It's true.
Yep.
If you want the show that is what just make anime food, there's Food Wars, and then there's Isekai from another, Restaurant to Another World, where every episode is just fantasy world person comes into a restaurant, like a Japanese izakaya, which is basically just like a Western grill, and orders something and then has their mind blown by our cooking standards. Because they're in like medieval times.
Yeah, that's great.
Every episode, like the person will take a bite out of their shrimp or something and instantly turn into a Michelin star reviewer, being like, it's perfectly battered and the texture is amazing. That's every episode.
And what's really funny is that Japan is actually known for having some like really questionable food. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Japan has great food.
Yeah,
but like they're also known for having some like really like what?
Like
this
what?
Is the worst thing I've ever had. I follow a guy on there's somebody who does like a blog. He's like works at a Japanese school, and like he blogs his meal every day that he gets to this school, and he's like, guys, I don't think y'all like. Yes, Japan has a great food culture, but like this is so typical of Japan. It's like these flavorless, like questionable meat soups that like the meat, like you have no idea what it is. Like you could hold a gun to your head and you're like, is it a chicken? Is it
cat?
Like I don't know. But Japan's not big on the cat stuff, right? I think that's China.
Japan doesn't eat cats and dogs. That's stereotypes and racism. They don't even eat whale all that much. Like it's not something that's super big there. It's not like you go down and you buy your whale bento. And that's what they're known for, whaling.
They do the shark fin soup, though, right?
Not that I'm aware of. Like, you could probably get it somewhere, but you could probably get it somewhere here in Australia if you try it hard enough. I'll get you soup by 2 p.m. if you want.
Yeah, hey, man. I mean, like, I know it's a horrible thing because they, like, kill a shark just for the fin or whatever, but, like... Yeah. But, I mean...
I don't know. See, that's the thing. That doesn't sound like Japan. Shark. Japan is, like... How can we be as efficient as possible? Like... And I think throwing away an entire shark, just missing the fin, does not sound like Japan.
Yeah, that sounds like poaching.
Yeah.
Poaching is bad.
I know you can get horse pretty easily.
Yeah, but you can actually get horse in America too. Like it's I mean it's not common, but you can get it.
It's like poor people food, man.
Yeah, I mean like we all use glue.
Not good.
So it's not like
horse
people are super weirded out about it, but like they don't realize that they spent so much of their life gluing things together with horse and Altoids. And what do you guys think Altoids are made out of?
Horse?
Like breath mints, dude. Breath mints originally, probably not as much anymore, but breath mints are pretty much like horse cartilage.
Really?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Google.
To the Googles.
Breath mints for horses.
Breath mints from horses, yeah.
Depends on the breath mint. If it has gelatin as one of its ingredients, those are made from horses' hooves. Yes. Okay, whatever. So is Jello. Jello's good.
Yep. Like people, I would never eat horse. Man, have you ever taken a pill? Probably had horse in it. Because pills have gelatin. That's. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah. No, I got you, dollars. It's okay. Man, now I'm just hungry. Thanks, guys.
I know. Should we wrap it up and get some food?
Horse. Ooh, I'm hungry.
Yeah, should we wrap it up then? Get some food?
Let's do it. Let's go get lunch.
All right. Sounds good. It is lunchtime after all.
Yeah.
It is.
PM.
It's 12:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. I don't think you need to further convince me it's lunchtime.
I'm trying to convince Duddles because he's like, it's.
Oh.
Will you tweet me a picture of the horse that you're gonna eat? Like just like however you prepare it.
Sure.
Are you gonna use a smoker?
A what?
A smoker?
A smoker? No. I want to broil it.
Ooh,
okay.
Gross. All right.
I was like, why is that gross? Have you ever had a broiled steak? It's the fucking best, dude.
It's so good.
Fine dining, man. Fine dining. They broil steaks all the time. It's so good.
But that's like sous vide, right?
No. Sous vide is slow boiled steak, which is hilarious.
Okay, significantly different from what we're talking about.
Yeah. So broiled is like when you put it into like an oven, but the oven is like 1,500 degrees or something. You just put it in there for like a couple seconds, and it's like comes out on fire. Like,
Right.
I mean, you can
Okay.
broil. The broil setting in your oven isn't quite that hot, but like
Pretty hot.
it's the best way to cook steak. That and cast iron, like hands down.
What about sous vide?
Well, sous vide also, but what you do is you sous vide it to right under medium rare, and then you either broil it or you sear it somehow.
Sear it after. Yeah.
It's a reverse sear, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
really the best way, because you want to not saturate. You want to render all the fat in the meat slowly, and then you blast the outside of it and give it a nice crust. Like that's
Yeah.
True fact. True fact.
Cooking tips on the Falcon Paladin Hour with Duddles.
I'm from Texas,
Okay.
guys. I promise you can trust me.
I've seen your Instagram and the meat that you display when you do a barbecue. Oh, jealous.
I would love to have you over, man. Just one quick and easy 18-hour flight.
Something, don't you worry.
Dude, if you're in anywhere in Texas, well,
All right. On that note, we're gonna wrap it up then because it
Yeah.
is lunchtime.
We're done.
All right. Thanks for hanging out for another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour. Please feel free to support the podcast directly at patreon.com/Somicron and check out the merch at falconpaladin.store. And again, thank you very much, Duddles, for participating. We'll have you back.
always a pleasure.
And until next time, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and above all, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.